he went to jail for public masturbation or something. What happened to him?
He was arrested for it. I don't think he went to jail.
I don't think he did time. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He seemed like the most closeted person I've ever met, or I've ever seen.
Wait, you met him?
No, I just that I've ever seen, because he had all these videos before Coney where he was like singing and dancing, and yeah, they found out he was using like his entire charity. They were just using all those funds to just make these like dance music videos.
Oh my God, that's incredible. You know what's funny is I remember I think on one of the early episodes of the bracket, we found out that like there's still very much a big reward for him, but like so like they just say like the poster just says like, hey, reward $4 billion if you catch Coney. And we were like, what the fuck? Let's go do that right now. But it was $4 billion like Ugandan, which is like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It's still a pretty penny, but.
It was like, it's like $10 million.
Yeah.
Which, sure, but like.
It changed from like, we need to go there now versus, never mind. It's not worth the risk.
I have a mic here, but I can't change the settings when you're recording. Do you think it's worth using, or just use this?
I can hear you fine.
Those wired in, the wired in headphones sound great. Honestly,
they do.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. All right, cool. We could boot it up. Honestly, I want to include like at least half of that Coney segment, but that's this is the start of the episode. What are we on? Episode 19 of the long take, I think, right? Right before our transition into being full-time part of the LCB feed. Today we're joined by the Wonton Don. We are going to be talking a little bit about food. We're going to be doing a draft of, I need to find the phrasing for it. I don't want to say like ethnic food isn't right, but like just countries' foods. Yeah, countries' cuisines. So nothing specific, no specific items, but we can talk about the items when we pick them. But like it'll be, like a country's food, like our food, Canadian food. I don't know if that exists outside of poutine, but like other countries' foods, if that makes sense.
I know what country's not going to get picked.
Canada and Canada maybe more. I would pick Canada over the UK.
Yeah, I would definitely pick Canada over UK.
Yeah,
I don't love German cuisine either.
Interesting.
And also like Poland, Moldova. I would assume they don't have the best cuisine. I don't like a lot of like Russian, Soviet food. Like what's that stuff called?
Like
Borscht?
Slavic food is just borscht is gross.
Borscht.
It's so nasty. A lot of cabbage in like the Eastern Europe, Russia area. It's like how about we just give you a cabbage stew with like a potato in it, and it's like beets, which is all of that is gross.
Depression era food.
It's dirt food. But yeah, we're gonna be doing that. We do have a couple of quick news items. Just a couple like trailers, nothing crazy. The first one is The Pale Blue Eye. It's a movie. It's got a big cast: Christian Bale, Harry Melling, who you might know as Dudley Dursley from Harry Potter, among other things. Buster Scruggs. He's playing Edgar Allan Poe in the movie, which is kind of crazy. And then Gillian Anderson. It's directed by Scott Cooper, who did a movie I love in Crazy Heart and also in Hostiles.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Hostiles. Yeah.
Two really good movies. And he did Antlers recently, but then also did a stinker in Black Mass, which I'm sure as a Bostonite you weren't, if you've seen it, Donnie, not a fan.
I didn't even see that one.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, yeah.
It was a bad one.
I heard it wasn't great. Now, so he's playing Edgar Allan Poe. Does that mean this is based on a true story?
As far as I know, no, I don't think.
I don't think it is, no.
It's like a murder mystery?
Yeah, but they're like, Edgar Allan Poe was a creepy guy, so it would make sense for him to just have this made-up creepy backstory.
I do kind of like that, just like making like a fan fiction about like an old-ass like author or poet or whatever. Like, here's Aristotle helping me on a murder mystery. Like, it would just be like, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Like, I'd buy into it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Dude, Harry Melling, great casting, because he is, I don't want to say unfortunate looking, but he's definitely a distinct face, and he fits well into that Edgar Allan Poe look.
Yeah,
he definitely looks like someone who would play Edgar Allan Poe in a movie.
Yeah, he Robert Duvall in this too. Like shout out Duvall, dude's been working into like, I don't know, he has to be in his 90s by now. But this all takes place at West Point as well, which is kind of interesting. Bale is awesome. He did a great movie with this director already in Hostiles, which is a really good movie. Also, I think
did
Jonathan
he do
Majors. What's that?
Did Scott Cooper do Out of the Furnace?
I don't know. But he did Hostiles, and I think that was the first major role of Jonathan Majors, who's now obviously huge, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know. It looked interesting enough. Like this is one that's like very dark looking, and I'm just like, this is one I might just wait until it comes out somewhere. You know what I mean? It's not one. It's going to be on a Netflix, but still, I wouldn't die to go to the limited release in the theater for it.
He did do Out of the Furnace, but yeah, that's the biggest thing where I'm just like, everything's lining up for this to be good, but when you see Netflix release, that's already a big pause, and then January release, like, just kind of feels like it's being dumped on Netflix. Like,
Christian Bale's going to be on back-to-back stinkers with this in Amsterdam.
Yeah, unfortunately, I need to rewatch Amsterdam because I did kind of defend it, and I said it had good parts, but like, I'm struggling.
The trailer looked good for that. I never saw it, but I thought
I'm struggling to remember any of the good parts now.
Yeah, because there weren't many. It was just like Bale was fine. It was just the movie was boring as shit.
John David Washington was so bad. So bad.
The next trailer and the last trailer was the trailer for Treason, which is coming out on Netflix, a British miniseries, like MI6 spy thriller. It's directed by Louise Hooper and Sarah O'Gorman, who combine on like some decent shows with like The Witcher, The Sandman, The Last Kingdom. Like they're good directors as far as, I mean, a limited scope I can tell. Stars Charlie Cox, Daredevil himself, Kieran Hines, Olga Kurylenko, who I feel like Olga Kurylenko, they tried to make a person for a very long time. You know what I mean? Like they put her in like one of the James Bond movies. They put her in that movie with Tom Cruise. They put her in a couple other ones, and then she just kind of like, oh, she's not very good. And I guess now she's back.
Daredevil, I think, is the only thing I've seen Charlie Cox in, and he was great in that. But what else has he been in?
He was really good in like a 2-season arc of Boardwalk Empire on HBO.
Oh, okay.
He was really good in that. And a couple other smaller things, but yeah, mostly he's Daredevil. That's his thing.
Okay.
They're in that, and then also Una Chaplin, who, if you've watched Game of Thrones, she played Robb Stark's wife that gets killed at the Red Wedding. You know what's crazy about Una Chaplin? She's Charlie Chaplin's granddaughter. I didn't realize that until looking her up. Wow. I had no clue. And it's also insane that like she's just his granddaughter. Like in my brain, I'm like, oh, great grandfather has to be, but it's Charlie Chaplin's because he had a very young wife in the 50s or something. Yeah.
You want to hear a very random granddaughter story?
Yes.
My friend was on a bachelor party and he hooked up with Pablo Picasso's granddaughter.
Really?
Yeah. Which it kind of blew our minds because all of us thought Pablo Picasso was like from like the 1800s or the 1600s, but no, he was like, he's not as old as you think.
Didn't he die in like 1980?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think Trent famously came to that same realization as well, where he's like, if he had to guess, he would have said like 1500s.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, same thing here, Doc, too, honestly. Because I confused him with that other dude. He wasn't the dude with the tiny mustache. Who was that?
I just know Pablo was the guy who cut off his own ear.
No, that's
Van Gogh.
Oh God! All right, yeah. So maybe okay, but Pablo Picasso was the very abstract. But I don't know what he looks like. But okay.
I know Jackson Pollock kind of looks like Ed Harris because that's who played him, I think, in the movie.
I love the idea that Pablo Picasso is just like some dude from Alabama, though.
Yeah,
He looks like some random dude. He's got like a bad goatee, wears like a trucker hat.
He wears the dirtiest Alabama logo hat you've ever seen in your life. But yeah, I don't know. It looked cool. I like spy thrillers a lot. That's like my jam. And so like I'm always gonna give it a chance. It might suck. Who knows? Trailers.
Yeah, I think this is gonna suck. I'll be honest. I think it's gonna suck. Anytime you get a trailer like 2 weeks before something drops, like the first time you see something is like 2 weeks before it drops. That's never a very good sign.
Did you see Bodyguard on Netflix?
That's the one with
that's the one with Robb Stark, ironically. I forget his name.
No, it's Richard Madden.
Richard Madden. Yeah, that was pretty good. I like that series.
Yeah.
I don't think they did a second season, but it was solid. And then the last thing news-wise was just Man of Steel 2 and Wonder Woman 3 both got axed by James Gunn and co.
Not official, but yeah, it sounds like that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. The second Wonder Woman movie was one of the worst
fucking
movies. Yeah, the last like 10, 20 years, which is a shame because it was the same director as the first one, and I really enjoyed the first one.
Yeah, that second was putrid.
You know how bad that movie was? Like, how bad it had to be? Like, we were dying for movies because you got to remember, this is like right when COVID like was hitting, and there wasn't any new movies, and HBO Max finally was like, we're going to start dropping this shit. Or Warner Bros. Was like, we're going to start dropping our movies on HBO Max. And they dropped that movie, and like, it could have been like average and people would have loved it because we just needed something, anything. And that movie was so bad that the day it was released, everyone was like, this is bad. This is real bad. Like,
yeah. I heard from people watching with their kids, and even their kids were like, can I go to bed now? Like, I don't want to keep watching this movie.
And it was long.
Yeah. So do you think Black Adam 2 will get cut as well now that
sounds like
James
it's not
Gunn's taken over?
But here's the thing.
Sounds like The Rock was a big prick through all of this.
He's going to throw a hissy fit if that gets canceled.
He would murder James Gunn is the thing. That's what I'm afraid of.
It sounds like him and his production company kind of strong-armed the Henry Cavill cameo in Black Adam, and it really pissed off like a lot of people at Warner Brothers because like you're more or less like saying like, oh yeah, Henry Cavill's definitely getting a Man of Steel 2 when it was kind of up in the air like whether or not they were actually going to do it. And so The Rock was basically setting the plans for DC as like just a random actor that they hired. Like, like he's got pull, but it's not like that. I don't think he has that kind of pull anymore. I think his star has not faded completely, but I mean, it's definitely faded a little bit from where it was like 5-6 years ago, where he could have ran for president. People would have voted for him.
Oh yeah.
I think like around the same time this news dropped, or he dropped a tweet bragging about how much money Black Adam made. He was like, it made more than the first Captain America movie. Yeah, this is what he said. He's like, it's almost made 400 million worldwide. First Captain America did 370 million. But that was also
like we could just be like, oh well, Black Widow made double.
Yeah. That's bad. He's also I think again almost a delusional liar. The Rock, like we're Rock fans. He's a big liar.
No, I'm out.
You're out on Rocky?
I'm out. I'm done with it. Like it's become too much. He's I think lost sight of like being a man of the people. Like his like it's so over the top now. Like I think he just needs to get back to his roots. Go back to the WWE. Do a little bit of that. I don't know. Like what's the best movie he's done in 10 years? It's probably Fighting with Family. And he played The Rock.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, every time he has like one of these videos, like
Jumanji.
The first Jumanji, yeah. Every time he has one of these movies, he just like tweets out like stats that he thinks matters a lot that don't. Where like when Rampage came out, he's like, "This is the best rated video game movie ever." It's like, but yeah, the highest rated video game movie ever is like a 40 on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's and this thing with like the money wise, like beating Captain America 1, like you beat like the third movie in Marvel history. Like it's not really impressive. You're The Rock. That didn't have The Rock. It had the guy that everyone knew from like fucking Not Another Teen Story.
Yes.
And he wasn't even like the best part of Black Adam. Like he wasn't even the best part. I don't even think he was the second best part. He was probably like third or fourth.
He wasn't the worst part though. I just did actually. I saw it like 5 days ago.
We hated that kid. We hated that kid
so
much.
It was the kid. He was the worst part.
He stunk so bad. The skateboarding too. Someone at that company thought skateboarding is way more in than it is.
Yeah. And his speech at the end where like they were like, dude, just show a little emotion in your voice. You're just like squeaking out those words. I mean, I heard both of those kids' parents are actors, so like maybe there was a little nepotism there. They
gotcha.
In Hollywood?
The role. Yeah. So I think that maybe secured him the role.
Yeah. My favorite Rock liar story has to be the Instagram of him tearing down his gate. It's the best one. And
the most ridiculous.
It's so Donnie, this is like years ago, probably 2 years ago. He's posted a picture of his front gate of his manse just broken down, and he goes, he tweets like or Instagrams it with the caption like, "Yeah, I was late to set on Black Adam, and I couldn't get out of my gate. My gate was broken, so I got out of my truck and I tore the gate off off it with my bare hands and drove away. And it's like two big things. One, it's Black Adam. They'll wait for you to get there. They're not going to start shooting and recast you. You're Black Adam. You're The Rock. Number two, you didn't tear a gate out of like that system. Like, and you see a picture of the gate. He didn't do it. He just rammed it with a truck or had a tow truck come pull it off.
If he did it, he would have had like a 3-camera setup to watch him. Yeah, he would have had multiple angles of him doing it. Like, the fact that it was just a picture like of the
and his cheat meals.
He's probably getting the gate replaced or something, and just took a picture of it while it was on the ground. Like
he posts like 40 pounds of food and just says like, "Yeah, I ate all this." It's like, I know you didn't. You took one. You didn't even take a bite of this. You just took a picture of it and threw it all out. I know you didn't eat this. He's just he's such a liar. But it's still kind of, I'm a Rock guy. I can't help it. He's so charismatic sometimes, and like in the right scenario, I enjoy him and I can't help it, even though he's a big ass liar, literally. So, all right.
Also, on the DC stuff, before we move forward, do you think this is a good, like, I think this is great. Like, I think this is what they have to do.
Reset, yeah, because their movies kind of stink. Just move on.
Yeah, like I love Henry Cavill, and I wanted to see him come back as Superman and get like a Man of Steel too, but like, you just have to reset DC at this point. Like, you really do. Yeah. You got to move forward. You got to like the Matthew McConaughey commercial. Like, sometimes you got to go back
to move forward.
Yeah, like they literally are there. Yeah, they just got to tear the whole thing down.
Apparently, that Flash movie is amazing. Like, that's what everyone's saying, is that's
everyone
so good.
This movie's so fucking.
They were gonna use that movie to kind of reboot because there's like time travels involved, and they like all the universes get mixed up, and then they could do like a fresh start with new actors, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that their plan?
Exactly.
Okay.
So I think they're just gonna reset with that movie. But the fact that movie's good is so funny. Like, I don't know if it is good. I haven't seen it, obviously, but like everyone who's seen it for the most part has said it's very good. Like, it's very, very good, and probably the best out of the DC movies, which is hilarious. Like, Ezra Miller just fucked up the whole thing. Like, it would have been a win for DC, and then of course Ezra Miller just goes on a tear in Hawaii.
It wasn't just Hawaii. He was on like a tear all over the world.
Yeah. International #1 fugitive. He I will say, for DC, in their credit, as bad as most of their movies have been, with the exception, I guess, of like Suicide Squad, their shows have been awesome, and they blow everything Marvel does out of the water. Like Peacemaker, the show is better than any show Marvel has made. Their animated stuff is way better than
I think Harley Quinn is probably better than anything they've done.
Yeah,
anything Marvel has done. Like, Harley Quinn's great.
Yeah, so that stuff, I feel like if they keep focusing and promoting that versus trying to promote the shit out of like Aquaman 3 or whatever, like in like essentially what we all know is like a dying universe. You know what I mean? It's like watching like a dynasty break up in football. Like, I don't want to watch this. Like, it's sad, you know?
It's Peyton Manning in 2018 or 2017.
The duck year, yeah.
When he's getting replaced by Brock Osweiler. Like, it's just sad.
Really Aquaman 2, though, is still coming out, right?
Yes.
But it sounds like that's going to be the end of it. But Momoa is going to come back, apparently. They want him back as Lobo, which is probably a better choice for him.
Yes.
Weirdly enough. Like, Lobo fucking rules.
Agreed. All right, we can do our draft now. Again, it's a draft of, like, we'll say, like, countries, foods, I guess. So, again, we'll talk about specific items within it, but, like, we're not drafting, like, specific food items.
Yes,
that makes sense.
But now, are you supposed to, like, do you just choose Chinese, or are we going super specific where you could choose like Sichuan or something like that?
I think you pick broad, and then you get the narrow as part of it, if that makes sense. We could debate. I feel like there'll be certain debates within certain ones that we can solve when they come up. I have the draft order set through the random list generator. Robbie, you're first. Donnie, you're second, and I'm last. Which is it was the same order as last time. That sucks. But anyway, yeah, Robbie.
I went last like 5 weeks in a row.
Okay, well, you're up first today.
How many do we draft?
We're gonna be drafting 5 each.
Okay.
You go first
next week to pick up undrafted free agents. Yeah. But number one, this might be I don't know. This might not be the popular take, but I am just going to take American food. I think it's the best. I think American food, like general American cuisine. Am I allowed to take that? Like, so that's like pizza,
I'll take it.
cheeseburgers, hot dogs, fried chicken, like.
Yeah. So I would say like New York. I would consider American food like New York pizza. Barbecue is like a very American food. So are you including that in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of like soul food too.
It's a lot of amalgamation of other foods, but that's kind of what makes it so great.
Yeah. So I'm definitely going American food then. Like I think a cheeseburger and a slice of pizza, like those are pinnacles, like pinnacles of cuisine.
The
can't beat it.
Food.
And also something that's very American, buffalo wings. Like I've never been able to get buffalo wings outside of the U.S. Really, it's very rare.
I don't know what the difference is between buffalo sauce and regular hot sauce. Like I don't know what the.
Yeah, like I can get hot wings abroad sometimes, but it never tastes like buffalo sauce.
You guys ever get like wings from like a Chinese restaurant?
Oh my god, they're amazing.
They're so good.
Yeah, those are good.
You should try one day. Well, actually, you definitely had banchan before.
Banchan is so hot. It's so hot though.
Well, no, just don't get the hot ones.
Yeah, because if you get the soy garlic sauce, it's not bad. But
dude, it's so good. The double fry, just a genius move.
I'm not a soy boy. Sorry.
You know what that comes from too? That's from when U.S. troops were in Korea for the Korean War. Like our troops, like a lot of them would like make fried chicken there in Korea, and Koreans like adopted that, and then they were just like, "What if we just fried it again?"
Like, they're like, I think we can do this better, and
they kind of did.
Just frying it again. No, honestly, I would say wing nuts are the only wings that I like more than Korean fried chicken. Other than that, I'm always going Korean fried chicken over American fried chicken.
You've had wing nuts?
Yes, I was lucky enough to try it, and it lived up to the hype. But I think maybe they double fry their wings. Maybe they're just like using a Korean method. Their wings are very crispy, and a lot of buffalo wings are like soggy and just don't have any crisp.
Those wings are so aesthetically pleasing to look at. Like every time I see a picture, like even like PFT can take a good picture of those wings. Like, that's something like those wings look good in every picture I've ever seen of them. Yeah. I want them so bad, but I'm never gonna go to Buffalo. So
PFT's picture with like a layer of grease over his camera screen, and it still looks so good. All right, Robbie, you have American food. Donna, you're up.
I'm gonna go Japanese.
Real.
Yeah, Japan's like the one place I've traveled to where I didn't have a single bad meal. It doesn't matter if you're going into a 7-Eleven and grabbing something off the shelf or you're going into a fancy restaurant. Everything is so good. And it's not just sushi. Their steak is incredible too. You know, like Wagyu, Kobe beef. They make these savory pancakes called like okonomiyaki or whatever. Like those are incredible.
Oh, dude, takoyaki too. The squid ball things, those are amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna say those squid balls are amazing.
The squid balls maybe don't crack my top 10 Japanese foods, but that's how good their food is. Like I'll still gladly eat those squid balls. Those are great too. Yakitori, which are just like all different types of skewers. I just think the Japanese take so much pride in their food that it usually ends up coming out incredible.
Pork katsu, also in my top for Japanese food. Really good.
Well, I want to go to a cat cafe and see all the little waitresses dressed up like cats.
Yeah. There's an experience level with that too. I would love to go to one of those conveyor belt ones. Those seem like a ton of fun. Did you ever go to one of those?
Yeah, I do. And so like all the plates are a different color and they're like colored based on their price. So, you know, like, all right, I'll take like $5 plates and then I'll take a couple $10 plates. And yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Man.
But yeah, like even the sushi in a 7-Eleven there is pretty damn good.
That was gonna be my question. What are your guys' thoughts on like gas station and grocery store sushi? More important,
I do grocery store sushi. I've never done gas station.
Yeah,
I've never done gas station, but I do grocery store. Not frequently, but I will do it occasionally.
Yeah, and I would do gas station sushi, but only in Japan.
Yeah,
don't think I would do that anywhere else.
I remember my girlfriend did a layover in Narita once, and she loves udon. She eats udon like all the time. Big fan.
Your Asian girlfriend?
Yes. She had udon in Narita Airport. She said it was the best udon she ever had in her life. Like airport noodles were that, and they were that good. like amazing. Oh, that seems like I want to go. Not because
what are some other types that we can think of though? So I'm thinking we've got sushi, sashimi, okonomiyaki, all the steaks. Like in Japan, you go to a restaurant. There's just like a little like stove in the middle of the table, and you get to cook your own thinly sliced steaks that were just so good. I guess I've never tried this. I guess in Japan they have this one dish of raw chicken that they eat, which
chicken sashimi.
Yeah, and it's like leave it to the Japanese to figure out a way to eat raw chicken safely. Oh yeah,
raw chicken? There's no way.
Yeah, they have a dish, and I don't know if it's just like so fresh that there's no chance of salmonella. But if you look it up, there is a Japanese dish of raw chicken. When I was in Japan, I had raw horse, and even the raw horse was incredible.
You know what I just realized too? You also get hibachi as part of this. I'm pretty sure. Like I feel like that's not a uniquely American thing. I feel like that's yours now.
It's literally called it's called chicken sashimi or torisashi.
Yeah,
raw bird.
We didn't even mention tempura as well. Like tempura is amazing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's so simple, but like so good. I think there's what else maybe. I can't think of.
Yeah. They don't have a lot of spicy food. That's the one thing that the Japanese don't love spice, but I guess wasabi sort of has a spice to it.
They don't use dairy either, right? Or is that China? Like they don't use a ton of dairy.
China doesn't use a ton
historically, but I think like nowadays they're consuming a lot more.
Yeah.
But yeah, normally not a lot of dairy.
The way it's explained to me is like northern China uses more than southern China. Like they don't. And this is what my girlfriend's mom would always say. She said in the north they would eat it, and that's why they're tall. And then South China, everyone's short because none of them would have milk. I'm like, I don't know if that nutritionally is true, but like it feels right.
I had a lot of milk growing up. Didn't help.
Oh, you know what Japan does really well that I've never had in any other cultural food is eel. Eel is so good in every Japanese meal.
Eel is so good, but I also think it's so good because of the sauce they use.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if it's about the flavor of the eel, but just like that sauce is incredible.
I'm so fucking hungry already. We're 2 picks in. Yeah. I'm starving for these.
Do you know that? So when Steve Jobs went vegetarian, he was vegetarian for maybe the last like 20 years of his life or 10 years. The one type of meat he would still eat was eel whenever he went to Japan on business.
Wow.
Just like he was completely obsessed with it. And it's also, you know how Japanese steak is so famous, like Kobe and Wagyu. It's the same like with Korean and fried chicken. They didn't eat beef until the U.S. soldiers were based over there, and they saw all the Americans eating it, and they were like, we never really thought to eat cows, but maybe we'll try it, and actually we're going to figure out a way to make it even tastier.
Mm-hmm. And now that's like the best thing you could possibly buy, like beef-wise. It's incredible.
The rumor is that they massage their cows or something. I don't know if that's true. I know they feed them a very special diet, and they may get daily massages to like help with the marbling of the meat.
I remember I was watching the great documentary Jiro Dreams of Sushi. And in that one, there was a part where for the octopus they serve there, they have like one of this, not like a sous chef, but I guess like the level below that. The dude has to sit there and massage the octopus for like a half an hour straight, just sitting there like doing it over and over and over and over and over again, and so that it gets like tender enough to actually eat. So like I could see them definitely massaging cows. I could see that being a thing. All right, I'm up with back to back. I'll start with Chinese food. Chinese food I think a must first round pick. If we can get at least with 3 picks on the top. So Chinese food, you get, I feel like so many different types of options. Because like I feel like there's certain foods where it's like traditional Chinese food is very different than like Americanized Chinese food. But I think in this case, and I don't know if you guys will be with me on this, that I get both.
Oh yeah, or like, does Gooch get American Chinese?
Yeah, like they're not eating orange chicken in.
Nah, I don't count that with American food. That's a Chinese food.
Yeah, so if you get both, that's a strong pick.
Yeah, because I feel like I really like both. Like I like the very Americanized bullshit like General Tso's and orange chicken and all and crab rangoon. Yeah, and the amazing crab rangoons. But like also like traditional foods are incredible there. Like there's also like every different region has, as Donnie I'm sure could tell you, like so many different regions have so many different types of food that are so very different. I love Southern Chinese food, like Sichuan, like you were talking about. It's unbelievable how good it is.
Yeah, Sichuan uses a spice called ma, which is like a numbing spice, and I'm sure you've tried it, and that's incredible. It's hard to find in the U.S. Like even some places that claim to be Sichuan won't use that spice, but that's how you know it's the real deal. It's called mala, and it's like a spicy numbing sauce that they use with Sichuan peppercorns, and one of my favorite flavors.
Mm-hmm. They have so many great things. I think there's a lot of like it has to do with, at least with the ones I like from traditional foods, are like baos, like xiaolong bao I think is so good. Soup dumplings, like amazing. Dim sum is a traditional experience too. Like I love dim sum, so good. I'm trying to think of like other things.
Do you like the chicken feet?
Dude, I love chicken feet. I think they're a little bony and like cartilagey sometimes, but like when you get good Chinese chicken feet, like they're so good. I think that's another thing with the sauce though, because that sauce is really good.
Yeah. The cartilage falls off the toes.
Yeah.
What's the meat on there? Aren't they just like?
It's not a lot of meat. It's pretty much skin and cartilage.
Yeah, but it tastes good. Like it's hard to explain. Like it looks weird. If you try to take like a chunk out of it, you're going to be very disappointed because it's like you're biting into bone. But like you just kind of suck off from the bone.
You gotta what?
You gotta suck off the feet from the bone and just eat that. And it is amazing. I think they're really good. And then obviously again, all the Americanized, more fried type Chinese food I think is incredible as well. And then after that, I'm gonna back to back with Mexican food. Mexican food and Chinese food, I feel like I just got a powerhouse on my hands right there.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's Jordan Pippen right there.
Yeah.
People don't realize how fancy Mexican food can be too. Like everyone thinks of it as just $2 tacos. If you've ever been to like a fancy Mexican place, there's some really cool shit they can do with that cuisine.
Yeah, like even outside of like you're saying like the hard taco, soft taco, like taco belly type stuff, like even like huevos rancheros like is an incredible dish. Like stuff like what's that dried beef? That's really good too. I had that once at a restaurant. It's amazing. I forget the name of it. But there's a whole bunch of amazing.
Mexican would have been my number 2 pick. Like I think it's so good, and it's incredible what they do with like limited ingredients. Like they're not using it's not a ton of different ingredients they use in their cuisines. Like a lot of rice, beans, cheese, a couple meats, some different sauces, but like mostly you're not dealing with too much. And they just find different ways to deliver it to you and to make it taste like fucking delicious. Like
tamales, quesadilla. There's fucking like
dude, I love
say this. Enchiladas, so good. You know what I would say? And the empanadas too. Oh my god, empanadas are so good too. But like this is I don't know if this is a hot take, but a statement I'll make. I think that the tortilla is the best bread delivery device of all time. It's like it's the best version of like even if it's a corn tortilla of like a bread type thing. Like I'd rather use tortilla than a piece of bread for anything on earth. If like any sort of meat, protein, or filling that there is.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
I don't hate that either. Yeah. Do you prefer flour tortillas over corn?
I like flour over corn. Yeah.
I do. If I was down in Mexico, I would obviously have no problem eating corn tortillas. But up here in the U.S.,
Oh, dude,
there's
street corn too. It's so good. Oh, did you ever have that?
Elote, yeah.
Elotes, yeah.
Oh, I live like pretty much on top of a the fuck is it, Tacombe, and they have really good street corn. They just serve it up in like a little cup. It's amazing. I Mexican food is just, it's so good. This is making me, I'm probably going to get Taco Bell after this because
dude, I'm starving just again, these 4 picks. I'm so hungry. But yeah, I mean,
if you think about it, Mexican food is pretty much Spanish Aztec fusion, which is wild when that finally dawned on me.
Yeah. You know what the Aztecs probably didn't do though? Probably didn't charge for tortilla chips. The tortilla chips they bring out to the table. That is a trend that has been growing across our country that we need to put it into it quickly. I really hate the direction we're heading as a country with the charging for the free tortilla chips with salsa. Like that should just. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's a loss like that. You gotta up the prices on the rest of the menu items. I don't care.
Yep.
Like that's something I go to a Mexican restaurant for. I expect.
And you expect it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I expect that to be placed down before I even get like a water. Like I want the chips.
Do you ever have those fried grasshoppers that they do on certain things, or maybe it's crickets? I forget.
I haven't tried it, but I saw that trending in New York.
Yeah, I had it once at one restaurant, not in New York, but it was really good.
Have you tried mole sauce? That's kind of that like chocolate sauce almost. Like it's like a savory sauce made with chocolate, I believe. But that shit's fire
so
too.
Good. That
one of the mother sauces.
Ceviche, I guess. A lot of really good stews. A lot of really good stews and soups. I think and fuck yeah, we didn't really mention tortilla chips. Like tortilla chips are the best chip. Like I would rather eat like and you can say anything you want about like Doritos or whatever, but like I would rather just salt or even hint of lime tortilla chips over almost any other type of chip, even without a dip. Like I like it more.
Doritos are just bastardized tortilla chips.
Yeah,
that's how they were created. You know, they were made at Disney World. Like that's where they were invented.
That's disgusting.
Tortilla chips?
Yeah, or Doritos. They were taking like old tortilla chips and just covering them like in seasoning and reselling
ranch dressing. I guess
that's how Doritos got invented.
Jesus. All right, Donnie, you're back up.
Ooh, this is tough. It's between two. But I've already gone Asian, so I'm gonna go Italian. But not like American Italian food. Like when I grew up, I thought Italian food was just spaghetti and meatballs, chicken parmesan, lasagna, and I was not a fan. And then when I started to go to these like actual Italian places after college, I was like, oh damn, this cuisine is incredible. Just like all the cured meats, prosciutto, burrata, focaccia, with like a freshly baked focaccia is one of the most incredible things in the world. And then you put some cured meats and cheese on it, maybe some sort of sauce. But yeah, I'm not a huge red sauce guy, but I just love all those like carbonaras, truffle pastas. I just like when the pasta is just fresh, handmade. It really, you can taste the difference. So yeah, I
have a friend with this take. I don't agree with it, but I like respect the opinion that vodka sauce on pizzas is better than just like typical pizza sauce. Like he prefers a vodka. Agree with that. Like vodka, I do just fucking love vodka sauce. Like, anytime it's put on a menu or on a meal, it does taste fucking phenomenal.
It is. It's heavier though. I feel like I'd rather eat 2 slices of regular pizza than 1 slice of vodka sauce, if that makes sense. But also, I think the vodka sauce tastes better. So I guess that answers the question. That I should probably rather that.
I will say I don't appreciate how much Italian people, especially Italian Americans, gatekeep the cuisine.
Yeah.
They are the biggest gatekeepers of Italian food. Like they're like, oh no, it doesn't count. Like, dude, I'm broke. I'm just putting noodles in a pan and putting some ragu on top. Like, it still tastes pretty fucking good. Like,
there's dark times where I used to put Kraft singles on saltines and call them nachos. It was there's been dark times.
That's just a Lunchable.
That it just applies. I'm just saying, like sometimes you got to make choices. I saw this guy on TikTok. I'm gonna post this TikTok later. He's like a big time juggalo. He made his own. He called it special lasagna. It was ground beef with ketchup, a shit ton of salt, and then like he just mixed it all up and like baked it. Put more ketchup on top of it. Baked it again, and then took it out. And he's like, "Yeah, look, presto, we got budget lasagna." And I'm like, I'd rather kill myself than even look at that anymore. But yeah, I think Italians are the masters of like meats and cheeses for sure. And like carbs in general, they are the most elegant carb users probably. Arancini, really good. That's something I had recently.
Dude, arancini, I used to not be a fan, but then I went to Sicily and it just blew my mind because I feel like here in the US, I only see one flavor of them usually. But when you went there, they would have a list of 15 different arancini flavors you could choose from. And every single one was incredible. You had
what's great?
Ones with like,
is like an authentic Italian risotto is so good. It's unbelievable. Yeah. That's another great one. I'm trying to think. You mentioned focaccia. They're like even just the lasagnas and like the ziti's and shit like that, some of which is bastardized, but it's still so good. Like,
I'm not a big fan of lasagna.
Not a lasagna guy. You don't like the layers?
Yeah, I don't like the layers. It's too much. It's too much. Just like a thick slab. I like my pasta more dainty than
what's funny?
A fat stack of lasagna.
I think among all the picks we've had so far, American, Japan, Chinese, Mexican, Italian. Italians probably also have the best dessert. On the list, best desserts, I would say. Like tiramisu, gelato, elite combination.
Yeah. I'm also not a tiramisu guy.
I don't gelato. I think American.
Love gelato.
Have you ever had a lava cake?
That's the American version. Yeah, that is the goat dessert from America. Designed at, I guess, Applebee's or Chili's. Who made that?
Applebee's. Right?
Applebee's, or is it just their item and it was just made by somebody else in like the 80s or some shit? But Italian is a great pick. That was one I struggled with between the Chinese and Mexican pick. I was like, which one of these should I take? But fuck, man. That was hard. It's a great pick. Robbie, you have back-to-back.
See, this is where it gets a little sticky because we've kind of gotten out of the big ones. But I am going to go Indian food. I love Indian food.
I really wanted that to come back.
Yeah, I love Indian food. I eat Indian food probably twice a week, 3 times a week. Just fucking delicious. They kind of nail the meat and the rice. They it's a very different spice than you're used to, is the thing. Like when we eat spicy food, it can kind of run in line with Mexican spicy food. Much different spices they're using over there. Everything tastes just completely different. It's delicious. I love shawarma. Biggest thing. Big shawarma guy.
And naan bread actually might be the only type of bread I like more than freshly baked focaccia.
I keep the Trader Joe's has delicious naan bread, like their garlic naans.
I don't think
very
shawarma
easy to eat
is
up
Indian.
To.
I'm pretty sure shawarma is Middle Eastern.
I'm thinking about masala.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, gotcha.
I mean, I might take naan over tortillas.
Yes,
that's
the only competition.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'm sticking with tortillas.
Yeah, I don't know. I bought those naan breads that you just buy at the supermarket, and I've been making naan sandwiches, and it takes every sandwich to a new level.
Oh, garlic naan too, unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what I use is the garlic naan.
Arguably better than garlic bread, I would say. Like there's different qualities to it. I would say yes.
I stick the frozen naan in the microwave and I just heat it up. I just don't even wait for the oven to heat up.
Very good second day food too, if that makes sense. Like some of these foods like won't taste as good if you order it the next day, but like I think Indian carries over pretty well. And they have a really wide variety of stuff, but like I'm thinking like, and they also, what's another good thing that's great about most Indian food Indian restaurants is like they give you like the levels. So it's like,
yes,
they usually like a white dude comes in, they're like, dude, like do level 2. You'll be fine with that. But like, I remember once I did a level 8 vindaloo and it killed, like I was almost a dead human being. It was so spicy, but it was like a good experience, I guess, or good learning experience. But like vindaloo, like you're saying, like the more Americanized things like chicken tikka masala and like naan is amazing. They do some good desserts too.
Yeah. Do you like?
I don't think I've ever had an Indian dessert actually.
Are you a fan of palak paneer?
The spinach one.
Yeah, the spinach one with cubes of cottage cheese.
Okay,
I normally hate cottage cheese, but this is like it's not like that mushy cottage cheese. It's these cubes of cheese that blend incredibly well with the curry. The only shame about Indian food is if you travel to India, apparently there's like a 90% chance you're gonna get food poisoning.
That's a damn shame.
I've been told if you go there, you just want to eat at like 5-star hotels, or else you are going to get sick.
Yeah, the street food scene there, maybe biryani or biryani. Yeah,
biryani.
Good.
There's also pakora. I think those are those like deep fried appetizers. Usually it's like, I think that's just their version of tempura, maybe, but it's very good.
What are the triangles called?
Samosas.
Yeah. Samosas are also amazing.
Samosas are good. Forgot about samosas.
They're like most Indian curries are just like incredible. I think they have like you were saying before, just like a really wide variety of different things. You know what I made the other day I made butter chicken the other day. It was incredible. Man, it's so good.
From scratch?
Yeah, it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. Pretty simple.
Speaking to how bad British food is, their fucking national dish is curry.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. Their food is horrible, but I think the UK has some of the best Indian food in the world.
Yeah, yet another thing they stole.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Yeah. Okay, so the thing I was thinking of, the Indian dessert, was gulab jamun, which is like, it's like a little thing in like this rosewater honey, like it's like a little fried type of ball thing. It's really good. Yeah, there's a lot of great dishes in there. I think that's a phenomenal pick. And you also have back to back.
I'm going to throw out this pick. You guys can turn it down or veto it because it might fall in line with just American food, but it's Cajun food. I feel like Cajun food is a completely different cuisine.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay. I don't know.
Oh, so when you said American, you're more thinking just
I'm thinking like traditional, like
burgers,
almost
pizza,
ballpark food, like what you think of like fast food, like your typical. Just if you go to like a Cheddar's Scratch Kitchen, that's what's going to be on the menu, or like an Applebee's.
So like Cajun is like, I feel like foreign enough. You know what I mean? Where it's like it's not technically part of like American lore, because it's all people that came from like the West Indies and combine that with like French, Spanish,
like
all that.
Yeah, so that's like your jambalaya, your etouffees, shit like that. I mean, I fucking love that food. That's what I grew up on that food, and it's just delicious. I probably could have picked it later. I don't know if you guys would have taken it, but I love Cajun food. It's what my dad probably cooks the most. It's delicious. Gumbos, shit like that.
Your dad cooks Cajun food the most?
Yeah.
Oh. See, I would think Cajun food requires a lot of time, I would imagine.
Not a lot of work. There is some time involved, but it's not like once you're cooking and simmering, like you don't really have to watch it.
You know what's amazing is and I remember at Willie Cologne's birthday party, he had this, and it was it was the first time I had ever had like a legit one. Like he had a Cajun boil, like a Cajun crawfish boil that they spilled on the table. It was so damn good, dude. I ate like 100 of them. I felt so bad, but
that's easy.
Yeah, that doesn't seem as hard.
No.
Yeah.
The crawfish.
Shout out Stale Cracker, a very famous Cajun chef on TikTok that I got to meet up with down in Louisiana, and we did a video with him. And then like the day after we put out the video, we found out he was involved in like a pontoon hit and run on a lake.
It's like the most Louisiana thing ever.
That is.
Yeah. And we've also found out that he was a cop on a friend's boat. They rammed into a family on a pontoon, knocked the family off it, and then just took off.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that got a little bit more serious.
Yeah, but no, he's a great Cajun chef.
Yeah, you can appreciate the art and just not the artist.
No Cajun food in New York City, which has really bothered me. Like, there's not a ton of options.
Mm-hmm.
You should talk to Ben Mintz about Cajun food. He's also obsessed with it. He took me to a place in New Orleans where I got a crocodile crawfish cheesecake.
How was it?
Fuck?
It was very good. It wasn't like a cheesecake. It was more like a cheese pie almost.
Oh, okay.
With crocodile and crawfish, but they called it a cheesecake. It was fucking incredible.
Damn,
those fucking idiots.
Yeah,
dude, I love them so. And that video when you guys did Rediscovering in Louisiana, the Ben Mintz baptism was just unbelievable.
Yeah, that was partially inspired by "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was a really good moment from that. All right, Donnie, you're back up.
Okay, I'm gonna go Thai food.
Fuck.
Yep, very happy with that choice. All the curries are incredible. I love a good coconut milk curry. Like I love how it's creamy, but it's also spicy. And obviously pad Thai. The appetizers are great. You can usually get crab rangoons at a Thai place, so maybe the Thais claim rangoons too.
Theirs are like smaller than Chinese food places. I feel like they always do like daintier ones.
Yeah, I would agree, but don't judge a goon by the size of its package. They can still pack a punch.
They have great dipping sauce for their rangoons too. Like theirs is like more of like a sweet Thai chili sauce versus like the red sauce, and it's also very good.
Yeah. I don't love the red sauce in New York. Like up in Massachusetts, it's usually like a brown duck sauce with the goons.
What was the name of that place you always talked about from Boston? It was like a Chinese food place near a bar or something.
Well, there's Kowloon's that everyone talks about in the office. I don't know if that was it. Another good thing, as I was saying, if you travel to India, there's a good chance you're going to get food poisoning if you have the street food. When I went to Thailand, you can eat whatever you want off the street.
Okay, I was going to say, I see some videos, like especially on TikTok, like the travel videos. Thailand almost always looks like the best. Like their street food looks fucking incredible.
Yeah, you pay like $2 for a giant plate of pad Thai. I've never gotten food poisoning in Thailand. So yeah, I feel like I've never gotten food poisoning with Thai food in general. So it's fresh, it's tasty. What else is
Pad See Pad Thai, like
yeah, they do a lot of good like basil eggplant dishes as well.
Their basil stuff, Thai basil in general is just amazing.
Yeah,
it's so good. A lot of flat noodles, I feel like, which are really good, especially with the sauces they use. There's I'm trying to think of there's a couple more.
They do make this type of Thai sausage that is incredible. It's a bit rare. There's also something called lob. It's spelled Laab, and that's like this minced meat salad sort of thing. It's usually served cold, but that's incredible. Papaya salad.
Yeah.
Thai chilies pack a punch. So
they have skewers too. Aren't like exclusively Thai, but I feel like Thai skewers are really good. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I forget what version it's like. It's satay, but like I don't know if it would be.
Maybe it's just like beef satay, chicken satay. That could just be their word for skewer. I don't know.
Yeah, but I know that in Malaysia they call it satay too. So like maybe it's more more universal thing. I don't know. But yeah, like you were saying, like tom yum soup. I also really like massaman curry. Really good. A lot of good soups, like you were saying though. Like the curry, the coconut soups, like the coconut milk base on a lot of things there is so delicious. That we always
coconut I like. Penang curry. I know that's another type. That's good.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah. Never had bad curry.
All right, I got back to back. I'll start with Korean. We mentioned it already a lot. I know you guys definitely wanted this in this next round. I can taste it. Korean food, both like more traditional and again more like bastardized versions here, both amazing. There's like a trillion dishes like that are just so good. Like, and beyond that, they're also good with experience too. Like we were talking about with like hot pot or what do you call it? Like Korean barbecue where you go and you make it yourself essentially. So much fun experience wise. But like, was it bibimbap? Really good. What's their version of? They have like a sushi type of thing. I think it's gimbap, something like that.
Yeah,
that's really good.
That's like the one type of Korean food I don't like because it's like sushi, but sometimes they'll use like hot dogs in it. Or something.
Yeah. They have a lot of like weird things like that, but their noodles are also incredible. Like they have really, really good spices, which I feel like that's where them and like we were talking about Japanese food before. Like I feel like do a lot of things that Japanese food does, but then they just do them with like more of a kick to it. And I really do like spicy food, so that plays a big role. And like we were saying, Korean fried chicken is incredible.
Oh yeah.
Arguably the best. The only thing I don't like in Korean food is kimchi. I've never liked kimchi, never been a fan, and they serve it with like as like a side with everything. I'm just not a kimchi guy. No, I don't think I ever will be, unfortunately.
They also make kimchi pancakes, but you can also get like they make a seafood pancake and stuff like that. That's so good.
Yeah. What's the name of those? Those because those pancakes are really good too. The ones like the scallion pancakes, but I'm not sure if that's Korean or maybe.
No, I think they do a version of it.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite thing about Korean food is their use of pork belly. I feel like in the U.S., not enough places pork belly doesn't get the love it deserves because I think it's my favorite type of meat, and you'll only see it at select places. But if you go to a Korean barbecue place, they're gonna have tons of pork belly.
They have an H Mart near our office that I went to once, and I got bulgogi, which is like I guess their version of barbecue. It was also amazing. It was really, really fun. Really, really good, I guess. I haven't had a lot of Korean like seafood, I don't think, but mostly I feel like they're really, really good with beef and pork and chicken. Like they're good at those three. I don't know if I had a lot of seafood again, but like those three big meats, they're really good at them.
You like meat?
I'm a big fan. All right, my second to last pick. This is really getting into the weeds. I think I'll go with turkey because I feel like I don't have like a true Middle Eastern type of or Mediterranean even like type of pick here, and I feel like Turkish food like doner alone or like anything like that, and like certain. I think doner alone, honestly, that carries it into like being in contention for me. A lot of great spices that you'll find in like most Middle Eastern foods, but also like some of the more freshness of like other Mediterranean stuff like Greek food, where like they're ultra fresh and like I feel like Turkey has a good mix of that plus more classical Middle Eastern food. But yeah, I don't know. Donnie, did you last time you went there, right?
Yeah.
What was your food experience?
I love the food. I feel like if I lived there full time, I would start to get a little bored because like a lot of the dishes are similar. But I mean, I was there for a week, loved every meal I had. Just all the different types of kebabs, all the different types of lamb. I tried to find I did like a food tour where I just tried to find the weirdest food of all time. And there was this one thing called shirdan, which is a sheep's stomach stuffed with like rice and spices and like chopped up intestines, and it looks exactly like a cock, like a giant schlong. If you're gonna put out a video podcast, you should definitely post a photo because it's one of the grossest looking things you've seen.
Well, now we're gonna have to. That's incredible.
But I was a big fan of the food there.
There's a lot of videos I always see of stuff I want, which is like the it's a dish I want. I don't even know what it's called, but it's like almost like a pastry with like a cheese in the middle of some sort. I always see TikTok videos of them cutting it up.
Burek. I think that's what you're thinking of.
Probably. What'd you think of it?
What?
Did you have it?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I think it's great. And you can you can choose which one you want. So you can get it with cheese inside, you can get it with meat inside, you can get a spinach one, and they're all great.
The only thing I don't want in Turkey is to get ice cream from one of those ice cream vendors. Those fucking assholes.
PFT did that while he was in Qatar. He saw one of the dudes doing tricks, and he was like, "Oh, that looks like so much fun!" And like went. He absolutely loved it. Yeah.
I just like love the videos of like the little kids sitting there and like, "Oh, I got it." And nope, fake shell, and like they just flip it over them like 500 times. Man, that would be me though. I'd be getting pissed.
PFT, I think, enjoyed getting duped, but
over and over again. Donnie, you're back up.
Okay. So you just took Korean. I don't want to take. A lot of the best ones are off the board, so I'm gonna have to go deep here. I should have been thinking of this while we were coming around. I mean, there's an obvious one. I just don't know. I don't have as much experience with it to pick it.
I'm interested to know what that one is.
Well, there's an obvious one that's the most famous for food, but I don't have enough experience with it to actually claim that I love it. So I'm gonna go.
Goochman can't figure it out.
I don't know what he's. I don't know.
A very famous food culture in Europe that we haven't picked yet.
Yeah, which I'm not gonna pick because I don't. The experiences I've had with it haven't
been. The Swedes.
I think I'm gonna go Spain just because I'm a huge tapas guy. I just that's my favorite way to eat. I don't like going to a restaurant. Everyone gets their one dish. It's like one just giant serving of it. I like variety, so I like going to a tapas place and just being able to sample,
like taste everything.
Yeah, we have that in America. It's called an appetizer platter.
The sampler platter. Mozzarella sticks, chicken wings. You get like chicken tenders sometimes included.
Yeah, I have.
Tapas are frustrating.
Nothing wrong with an appetizer platter.
Tapas are frustrating when it's the only thing at the restaurant for me. Like I like tapas, but I always leave hungry if it's like the only thing we're doing. Like I need my own meal too.
Well, that's why you just have to get like 30 different tapas.
Yeah. It's like dim sum, basically.
How much money do you think Barstool pays its producers?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You also get
that could be an issue.
You also get like paella, which is pretty cool. Gazpacho.
Yeah. Yeah.
Paella is
not bad.
Wait, paella is Spanish? I didn't know that.
I think so anyway.
Yep.
Okay, I do love it.
You get that ham, that Iberian ham, which I always see them like cutting, which looks really good.
Yes, Iberico ham is. I mean, do you think you could taste the difference between Italian prosciutto and an Iberican ham?
I don't know if I could taste the difference, but I feel like I'd be able to figure out which one I think is better, and I feel like it would be just that ham, because I just see the videos of people cutting it off and eating it and like coming their pants over it. So I'm like, I gotta try it one day.
Yeah, I would love to just like have a leg hanging up in my apartment. That just whenever I'm hungry, take it down and slice off a few pieces.
Yeah, they also get like croquetas. I think that's Spanish, right?
Yep. I mean, they're always on the tapas menu, so I assume so.
Yeah, I always see fish items too, but like I haven't think I've ever tried a fish Spanish dish, but we'll get there eventually. Robbie, you have back-to-back.
All right, my number 4 is going to be Vietnamese. That's still on the board, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, for just really 2 main dishes, pho and then banh mi. I love banh mi.
I love banh mi.
So good. It's just like a different kind of sub. Like it's like there's one place down the street from me that serves up. It's a brisket banh mi, and it's so fun.
Oh, that sounds good.
It's so good. Yeah, I get it like once a week, once every 2 weeks. It's fucking delicious. I really haven't explored much of the rest of the menu, but I do love it, so I'm going with it. Yeah, I mean, Vietnamese food.
You get like really good spring rolls summer rolls and stuff like that. Like which I've always liked about Vietnamese food is that it's very like for the most part light. Like banh mi might be the exception because of the sandwich bread and all that, but like there are other things. Most of the other things are like super fresh and similar to like Thai food in that way, where it's like a lot of veggie and a lot of green combined with like really, really good and well done protein, which I've always liked. But yeah, I would agree with you in that pho and banh mi are like my 2 biggest experiences, and then like summer rolls, which I feel like are more broad as well, and maybe a couple other things. But yeah, that's a good pick.
They also use a lot of lemongrass in their food.
Lemongrass rocks.
Which is. I'm sure you've tasted it, even if you don't know what it is. But that's like what adds a lot of flavor to.
I have some frozen in here, I think. Oh no, that's pandan. Pandan is also amazing.
Yeah, they also have a type of like Thai pancake that's super popular over there.
Yeah. What are you making fun of my fridge for, Gooch?
Just unorganized.
How is this that unorganized? It's just a little bit sloppy because these fucking stupid cookies she bought. And that she's going to yell at me if I even look at one. She bought a whole ass box of them. And the rest is just like shrimp and frozen grapes. I love frozen grapes. I'm a big frozen grapes guy. I think it's a great dessert.
Do you guys believe in the like theory that pho is the best hangover cure?
I've heard that a lot. I think soup in general is very handy for hangover.
Just the soup thing because it kind of sits on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it just packs a lot of electrolytes or whatever. There's a lot of nutrients and sodium in it that I guess your body is drained of after a long night of binge drinking. So
I'll be honest, I don't believe in any hangover cure.
I haven't found one.
They make me feel maybe a little bit better, but like that's like for a limited time, and I still don't feel great. Like
I think pho is like maybe better than like if you're getting like whatever other type of soup, like Italian wedding soup or some shit. Like I think pho is better because it's lighter and it's more like we were saying before, like green stuff. Like it's more green, more fresh, more aromatic, more airy, and also it kicks a little bit of a punch sometimes if you put in like the extra toppings and stuff. Which is also a thing I love about ordering pho is like you're not getting some soggy ass noodles delivered or anything. You're getting it all separate. You're putting all that shit together and it tastes great.
I do love that you get to drop it in.
Yeah, and at restaurants it's even better. All right, your last pick, Robbie.
My last pick, it's kind of an off the beaten path pick, but I'm going to go Nigerian food.
Really?
I haven't had it in a while, but there used to be a place in Lexington. It's called Sav's, and very good food. It's just basically rice and meat. A lot of lamb, long grain rice, delicious though, very spicy. Nigerian food. Really, most like African cuisine kind of falls in the same category. West African, especially.
Oh yeah.
Very good food.
Ethiopian food is unreal. Although I think that's Eastern African, but Ethiopian food is awesome.
Would you compare it to Jamaican food?
I don't know if I've ever had Jamaican chicken. Outside of outside of like your like typical like you buy it like at a 7-Eleven.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I mean,
that's
like
jerk chicken, oxtails. Oxtails are incredible. Have you guys ever tried those?
Oxtail soup is so good, unreal.
It's a very underrated piece of meat. Not as underrated as pork belly. Pork belly should be number one.
Yeah, pork belly prepared correctly is like better than almost any other meat you could have, I think. Yeah, you're up, Donnie.
All right. Well, I guess I gotta take French off the board, just because I'll take French because I like a really like stinky cheese, you know, and I feel like France is the most famous for they're probably the cheese capital.
Yeah, they stink.
So yeah, the one bad experience I had is like the only time I've been in France, I had a layover there, and I was like, all right, I got to try the most stereotypical French cuisine. So I went to the spot where you could get frog legs and
escargot.
Yeah, I got the frog legs and escargot, and I was like, okay, these were not great. I have had frog legs in the past, and they've been awesome, but that was at a Vietnamese place maybe, or a Thai place. These frog legs did not live up to the hype. The escargot didn't live up to the hype, but I'm picking French based off of the cheese and off of their duck confit, which is a popular dish.
Foie gras too, yeah.
Foie gras, yeah, I like foie gras in small amounts.
Ratatouille, hell yeah.
Is that French?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like peasant soup or something. I think is like, I don't know the actual translation, but I think that's what it was meant to be.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think they have some of the best cheeses in the world, and they take a lot of pride in their cooking. I'll have to try more French cuisine, but it's getting my pick solely based on that.
It's got brand value. It's like Notre Dame, basically.
I've never understood why.
Yes, it is.
Like, why is it always so expensive? Like, French food is always expensive
because of the name brand, man. It's literally all that. I think that like beyond the brand recognition, like French food is really good. Like even the dumb things that you don't even like think about, like chicken cordon bleu or whatever, like shit like that is good. Like they're really good at cooking good food. And a lot of other countries and a lot of like former territories, I guess, of theirs, like they incorporate a lot of their techniques and things into their food.
Yeah.
And for good reason. Like, so I think that it is a legitimately great pick. Although I do understand like your hesitation in picking it, because it's like, oh man, it is hard to pick like a marquee dish where it's like, you know, Vietnamese had pho and banh mi, and like other.
Well, actually, Vietnam needs to thank France for banh mi because they're the ones who gave them the baguette.
Arguably the only thing Vietnam should ever thank France for. I would say. Otherwise, not a great time for the Vietnamese when the French were there. But like croquettes, like fucking there's so many things where like you can think of like French influence on it.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like I've never hit up the homies and been like, let's go out for French food.
Yeah.
So we don't eat it a lot, but I think it's actually is a sneaky part of our lives more than we think.
Yeah.
I was on
French onion soup.
French onion soup, great.
Johnny. Yeah. I was on vacation with a girl one time, and her parents took us to a French restaurant. I was so out of my depth. I had no clue what I was doing. No clue. They were like, "Here, try this." It was just the escargot, and I was like, I didn't really want to say. I didn't want to say in front of them. I was just like, I don't know. It's so salty. Like I didn't like it.
Yeah, I think it's literally just like it's snails, but it's like fried in butter and like some other like herbs and stuff. And like at first, I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know about this, but then I tried it. I'm like, it's pretty good. I don't want to like eating a bug, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of butter, so it's great. You just dip the bread in.
Also, another country's food who probably among all these as well, they actually probably have the best desserts. Like they have phenomenal like French desserts. Like even just like the flavor of French vanilla alone is like top tier dessert flavor, if you ask me.
Creme brulee,
like any tart. It has like roots in French food, like their baking, I think in general is just amazing. All right, I get last pick. There's a couple on my list. Like Greek food is really good. I like when I was in Greece, it was awesome. It was really good food there. Fucking like Brazilian food is amazing. Like you ever have those little like when you go to like a Brazilian steakhouse, they give you like the cheese bread thing. I forget what it's called, but it's incredible. It's so good. But yeah, they're really good with meats. They're really good with like stews as well. But then also like I love a good Belgian waffle. I don't know another Belgian dish, but I'm a really big fan of Belgian waffles.
You got chocolates and
French fries. They're actually very famous for their fries.
Oh yeah, they do have good. There's a fry place next to me that's a Belgian fry place, and
there's some German foods I like too. Like German food culture all revolves around like sausages and bratwurst and beer. Like those are all things I really like as a human being. Outside of that, maybe not so strong, but like that's a big thing to be good at.
Yeah, I mean they do have good food. Cincinnati has a ton of German food. Like that's
sketchy. I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's all like short, little fat German people.
Did you see that? There's a very funny meme after Poland played Argentina. It was like Polish players checking every Argentina's player's eyes to make sure none of them are blue. It's very funny. All right, but you know what? I'm gonna go with Malaysian because I have experience it through my girlfriend's parents, and it is incredible because Malaysia has a combination of like 3 major like food cultures. Because it has a lot of Indian influence, has a lot of Chinese influence, and then it has like the regular Malay influence in all of it as well, and also a lot of like Southeast Asian influence on a lot of their things as well. But they have like just incredible like melting pot of different types of food, and all of them are amazing. Like I don't think I've ever had a Malaysian dish where I was like, this is bad. Like every one of them has been amazing. But again, most of it comes from almost in the same way of like you picking American food, Robbie. Malaysian food has like things where it's like Chinese based, but it's a Malaysian dish, and like Indian based, but it's a Malaysian dish.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It looks good.
It's really good. And again, it just comes from like all these different types of cultures, which makes it even better. I think my top favorites are there's this thing. It's Hainan Jifan, but it's like it's Hainese chicken rice, which is basically it's a Chinese dish, but it's cooked in like this more specific Malaysian way, I guess. But it's that plus like this rice that's flavored with the chicken that you cook. It's so good. That like char kway teow, like man, there's a million of them. And then they have like have you ever seen? I think it's in the Philippines. Maybe they do this. It's like this shaved ice sort of dessert bowl with like all these other things on it. Like this like Jello like candy type thing. It's that really, really good. But I'll go with Malaysian as my final pick. It's maybe a too personal of one, but I'll go with it.
That.
And I think all of our honorary worst pick is just going to be England, right?
It's got to be. I mean, it's just garbage. It's garbage. I've never seen an English dish and been like, looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scotland's got something called haggis, which is just like, I tried it. It's
sheep intestine stuffed with something, right? Like stuffed with like
like minced meat and spices and I don't know.
Bangers and mash.
Like
fuck off.
Like, and again, England or Great Britain in general, they had the biggest empire in the world, stretching the entire fucking globe of spices, like different foods, all this shit, and they're eating like beans on toast. Is like their national dish, basically. Like just pathetic.
It's the fact that they defend beans on toast.
They like very much so defend it.
Like, oh, you got no, it looks fucking terrible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Australian food though too is not great. They love their Vegemite, which I don't know if you tried it. It's the worst I've ever had. Oh my god, it is horrendous, and they swear by it. Mm-hmm. It's worse than any type of British food. It's a lot worse than beans on toast.
I tried it once and it was like so salty. That's all I remember about it is I was like, this is so like pungent.
It looks like black tar, and it's so salty.
It's really bad. So our teams are, Robbie, you have American food, Indian food, Cajun food, Vietnamese food, and Nigerian food. Donnie, you have Japanese, Italian, Thai, Spanish, and French food. I have Chinese, Mexican, Korean, Turkish, and Malaysian. I think the way that this graphic's going to go is that people are going to yell at me for having a very good top 3, but a very bad bottom 2.
No shot I win this one.
You're going to get shredded for American food. You're going to get absolutely...
I don't care because I'll defend it because people are lying to themselves if they don't like put pizza.
I don't know if you will.
And like,
I feel like especially with our sort of audience, they might appreciate that pick.
Our sort of audience.
Yeah. Well, I was just talking about the Barstool audience in general. I wasn't talking about the Lights Camera podcast audience.
That is maybe the Barstool audience. Don't worry.
They're going to like all the picks. They're
more cultured.
I think Donnie, you're gonna win this. If I had to pick anyone to win this, I think it'd be you. You have a very good, at the very least, top 2, and then stealing French in the last. I think people are gonna automatically give it to you as like the best late round pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think people respect French.
Yeah, exactly.
When I mentioned Italian food, I forgot to shout out my favorite type of pasta, which would either be that's the one type of pasta I can't pronounce, gnocchi.
Gnocchi, right? Yeah, hell yeah.
Gnocchi. Love gnocchi.
A good potato gnocchi, really good.
Yeah. I love any type of pasta that can be stuffed. So like a tortellini, a ravioli.
Stuffed shells too, like really good.
Yeah. So I learned how to make it once. It was the most time-consuming thing ever. So I will not be making any more homemade tortellini, but it's incredible.
I tried gnocchi once and I tapped out. It was like, this is such an exhaustive process. I'm so out. I'll just order it.
I actually have I set up voicemails last night. I did have one voicemail that actually falls in line with this. Let me play it.
Play it.
Let's see. Let me find it.
You do it over Riverside.
I'm just gonna play it off this. There it is. So you like asked, like, if you could have that, that fountain from Big Daddy, what drink are you putting in there?
Oh, what did he have in it? Dr. Pepper?
Or not the fountain from Big Daddy. I guess Mr. Deeds was the fountain. I think he got confused there. But yeah, Mr. Deeds was the one with the fountain, right? Where he put like I think it was like, what was it? High C, whatever. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So if you had like essentially a fountain,
you could have like a fountain in your house that like serves up something other than water. Like what are you putting in that fountain? Like what's your drink? What's the drink you're going with?
I know what I want to pick, but I don't know what I should pick. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what I would pick.
I'd pick Coke Zero, but like I don't want it to be Coke Zero.
I'm going Diet Coke. I'd love to have a Diet Coke fountain. Go up it. I'd be like a little hamster on that thing.
I'm more of a water guy unless I'm drinking beer or cocktails. So I think I would just have it filled with like a spicy margarita or a beer, and I would just roll it out at parties because then you're the guy who has the party fountain.
Actually, the thought of, if you really like water too, just having like a constant, like the super good water, like the pH water, would also be enticing. Like I have a water filter, but like it's not the same as like getting like smart water or whatever.
Yeah. Do you think that pH water actually makes a difference? I've never known if it's a scam or not.
I feel like it tastes a little better than like regular like tap for sure, but like also like certain bottle brands.
Different tap waters taste different for
That's
sure.
Also true.
New York's got the worst fucking tap water in the world.
We have like scientifically proven the best.
The worst. Yeah. Tastes terrible.
Doesn't matter if it tastes bad. It's scientifically proven like the safest and cleanest tap water in the world.
Oh, tastes terrible. Fix it.
I'm so tired of these tap water snobs after I had to live in China for 8 years where I couldn't drink a drop of that stuff.
You had to like boil it.
Yeah. Yeah, there was one time I was super hungover and all the stores were closed. So I had no water and I was so thirsty. I just had to like keep on filling up a kettle, boiling it, waiting for it to cool down and drinking that to like hydrate myself. It was miserable.
Jesus, that's incredible. I'm trying to think, but I don't know what I would want for mine, but I do like the idea of, like you were saying, Donnie, like having a beer one or like a cocktail one that you could just wheel around. Like I think specifically like a good cocktail one, because beer just would be messy, like foam and shit. But like if you had like one that just was like pina coladas on demand, even like, can you imagine that? Like a frozen drink coming out, I would love that. You're not a pina colada
frozen drink fountain? Oh no, I'm a pina colada guy.
No, I'm looking at Goochman. Goochman looks like he's not a.
Well, just I don't know how it would work to have like a frozen drink coming out of the fountain. Might get clogged up.
So I think of it almost like, you know how they have the machines at bars where like it's just like constantly spinning?
Oh, yes, yeah.
I would imagine it like that.
Mudslide. You get a mudslide machine.
Mudslide machine.
Ooh, yep.
I don't know. Maybe like something more like if I could pick one, medicinally speaking, Blue Powerade fixes all ailments. Maybe I would want that. Because like Blue Powerade, you have any problem, Blue Powerade will fix it.
Maybe Stella Blue Coffee?
Stella Blue Coffee. I think that would be the final one.
That. Yes.
Yeah, maybe one that like it just constantly spits out brick watches. Like every 5 seconds a new one comes out. That was very funny at the company meeting. Dave saying, like, if you want to be paid in brick watches instead of salary, just let me know. But yeah, so that's our episode. Thank you, Donnie, for joining. Make sure to go watch him and PFT in Qatar. Your video's live on YouTube and where else?
And YouTube and the Barstool website and my social media, the Wonton Don. Yeah.
I'm going to watch on YouTube because I can put it on my TV.
We did not, PFT visited for 48 hours. He did not try a single dish of Qatari cuisine. We were eating like Shake Shack, McDonald's.
Why America's #1.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. The fact that you can get Shake Shack, did they give you burgers in Qatar?
Yeah. Actually, I had a bacon cheeseburger, but it was made with veal bacon.
Oh, okay. So that would be the thing. I would think if there was a burger place there, like you can't have things that aren't halal. So like how?
Well, I think beef is halal.
I get okay.
Maybe I don't know. Cool. Yeah. I know in Israel it's not kosher to have cheese on your meat. Like you can't have. I don't think they sell cheeseburgers at the McDonald's in Israel because it's not kosher. But I definitely could get a cheeseburger when I was in Qatar.
Yeah. So again, make sure to go check out the video. But we will be back next week. We'll be in the regular feed. So starting next Thursday, it'll be into the podcast feed.
Friday.
Yeah. Sorry, next Friday, not this Friday. The next Friday, it is going to be in the podcast feed for all of you wondering. But yeah, that's the full episode. We'll see you guys next Friday.